Committee reports, legislative update, Mrs. Short.
Yes, I do have an update. Let's see if I can get to it. Okay. I'm not sure if everyone is aware of it, but Senate Bill 178 has moved from the Senate to the House. It passed 22-7. So the bill will remove many of the powers from the Ohio Board of Education. As of right now, if the bill passes, and it does have support from the governor, we suspect that it will pass. The board itself will be responsible for limited things. Their powers will be cut back as a result of passage. So they'll be responsible for licensing of teachers, disciplinary issues, making school territory, transfer decisions for districts. They will still have the ability to appoint the state superintendent of public instruction. However, that state superintendent will lose a great deal of their actual power. So there will be a new department that is implemented. The new department is called the Department of Education and Workforce. It is basically a department that is directly under the auspices of the governor's office. So there will be a new director of that department. Now, this is if it passes. We suspect that it will. There will be a director that will be making decisions about testing, developing learning standards, modeling curricula for the state students. So all of these tasks are primarily tasks of the Ohio Department of Education, which was basically led by the Board of Education. So those things will change. This is coming about because of a number of things. One of the things that's been spoken about is the fact that we don't have a permanent superintendent. We have an interim superintendent that's been there for about 15 months. And there have been a number of issues that are kind of contentious that the board has had to weigh in on or chose to weigh in on. So there's just been a little bit of, I don't know, maybe chaos is a strong word, but that might be the right word to describe it. So as a result, this new organization will essentially change a number of things. So as of now, that's where we are. It is Senate Bill 178, moving to the House. We expect that it will pass the House, and the governor has indicated his support for it. So that is something that was put in place, I think, in the Ohio Revised Code in 1953. So those powers are being transferred. So unfortunately, things happen in the state, whether it's good or bad. I don't know all of the details of it, but I know that it's probably going to happen. So pay attention to what's happening. You can always call and voice your opinion to legislatures. As of now, that's where we are. And I can take some questions.
Well, I don't have one, nor do I have a Butler Tech report, other than to say that at the last board meeting, we talked about career technical schools coming together and advocating for a position within state government that would lobby, advocate for career technical education, and a part of it is in reaction to this legislation.
Right, and I do know that there's definitely going to be some more focus and emphasis on technical education and the idea of developing the workforce. That is good. You have to have a balance. You have to have a balance. And so I think there's good that can come from it, but I'm also worried that we're going in a direction that is unknown and we're just kind of jumping out there. That's never good. So I would wish that things would go a little bit slower and that people would really think about it the pros and cons and really weigh those out. I'm not sure if that's been done because it seems rather fast, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear you.
Any more questions?
Mrs. Shorter, this is not related to that particular bill, I mean, and as if you don't have enough on your plate with that bill. I thought I saw a blurb the other day online that there's some rumblings about introducing a bill that might change the third grade reading guarantee.
Yes.
Have you heard anything about that?
I have. Yeah, we believe that that is probably something that's going to happen pretty soon as this next legislative, Congress gets into the swing of things. Yes, I have heard that, and I think it probably will happen. Things are changing.
Mhm.
But I'll keep an eye on it. I'll let you know what I can find out. And of course, Mrs. Ogg will have the latest and greatest on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Shorter. Student achievement, Mrs. Gunn.
Okay, well, part of what I was going to talk about was the GRIT presentation and how great it was that the choraleers and some of the student athletes went to North and talked about that, but I think Mrs. Hayes covered that far better than I ever could. So I'll move on to, let's see, hot off the presses today. Melanie Shackman's 7th and 8th grade string students got an extra boost of confidence. They participated in a virtual feedback session from renowned music educator, conductor, composer, arranger Bob Phillips. So they're going to be performing some of his music at their upcoming concert, and they got to have some live feedback from him. So that's a pretty big honor, and it's very impressive that they got to do that. And then also, I did not want to not mention that Fairfield High School senior Paige Mann had recently found out that she's eligible to compete for the National Merit Special Scholarship from Fifth Third Foundation. So that also is an awesome accomplishment. So congratulations to all.
Thank you, Mrs. Gundry. Parks and Recreation, Mr. Clark.
Not a whole lot to report on, other than the beautiful trees that are in the CAC building. If you've not visited the Arts Center, go there, vote for your favorite tree. There are several in there that look really good, so check that out before they disappear.
I think you could brag on the Parade of Lights. That was a huge success.
Yep, I thought we talked about that before, but we did. The Parade of Lights was a big success. The city, I can't remember the winners now, because I thought we already talked about it. Bring it up again, but it was a great success. Lots of lights, lots of
Yeah.
parades.
Lots of people out for that.
It was.
It was a great night. And who knew? Christmas fireworks, right? That was quite a display there. Planning Commission, Mr. Smith.
Yes, Planning Commission has not met recently. As a result, there is no update.
Thank you.